The palatial studios of CBS Radio World Headquarters in Green Tree, back for the first time in a while. We've been at Coons Market on McKnight Road, but we came home for New Year's Day to spend a little time with family and friends, and of course we had to take care of our child, Brock Schneider, ladies and gentlemen, so our producer. But speaking of someone who really does a whole lot for your Pratt Pack, Elias McMillan, you know him well from Waynesburg. How do you do that? Like that, Waynesburg University. Well, he put together some great stuff, and we've been doing a lot of video blogs about the National Football League very early on Saturday morning because he does all this work for me, and I want to share the love and all of his work. So this is the stuff that he put together for me. It's all this NFL stuff, you see, playoff scenarios. So being that it's the final week of that great brand that is the National Football League, we're going to focus on that. Greg Diolis and I, just moments ago, finishing the program. Bob Dvorak is off. Ted Arnaud walking the line as he always does and will throughout the playoffs, right through the big game, meaning the Super Bowl. So this is NFL Week 17, the NFL playoff scenarios as prepared by Elias McMillan. His beloved Dallas Cowboys, NFC East champions, clinch home field advantage in the NFC if they beat Philadelphia, who is getting 4 points. Your thoughts about the Cowboys and Philadelphia?
Well, it's going to be interesting. How valuable in their mind is home field advantage and the number one seed as far as who do you use as the Cowboys? You're in the playoffs now. Do you have Zeke Elliott play? Do you have Dak Prescott play? I mean, you probably start out with those guys. How deep do you go with them? That's the conundrum that they have is where are they going to go? How many of their main guys did they use in this game?
And we were talking on the program about Tony Romo. You want to get him some reps because of postseason possibilities.
But as fragile as he is, how many reps do you want to get him? And then does he get banged up? And now you're only got a one-trick pony for the rest of the playoffs.
That guy is so injury-prone. A Coca-Cola vendor could take him out at AT&T Stadium. I like Tony Romo, and I think it's time maybe he starts thinking about clipboard for a couple of years, or maybe even life as a broadcaster. But he surely has done some good things in Dallas. All right, Atlanta Falcons, NFC South champions, need a win to clinch a first-round bye. They are giving 7 points to New Orleans. Who do you like?
Again, I like Matt Ryan and those guys with the teammate of him and Julio Jones, the way that they've been playing this year. I think that the Atlanta Falcons are a pretty good football team when those guys are on the field. Again, do they continue to use them? I think they probably will, and that should be one that gets secured fairly easily.
All right, Seattle Seahawks, NF West champions, need a win, and Atlanta lost to clinch a first-round bye. They are taking on San Francisco, who is getting 10
Not
points.
worth any risks there, but I don't think you play your starters. They still win that football game. Whether they cover the 10 could be, a little bit more suspect. But Seattle could be a team to be reckoned with, Rob, as they get into the playoff picture.
All right, Green Bay Packers can clinch the NFC North title with a win, but so can Detroit. It would be their first one in 23 years, and Detroit is getting 3 points. I'm for the sheer sake, because of General Motors, Barry Gordy and Motown, and Alex Karras, the great George Plimpton, Detroit Lions, Mel Renfro running the football out of the backfield, Matt Stafford, Coach Caldwell. Today is your day with destiny.
A meaningful game in the old black and blue division, right? I mean, this one's a throwback to back in our days when these games really were important. The main problem I have with this game is playing it inside. It would be nice. This is one that should be played in one of those, frozen tundra of Green Bay and Lambeau Field type of deal.
And you know what kept them going all those years? The great United Auto Workers. All right, they were the ones buying the tickets and supporting Detroit all of those lean years, so I'm hoping they get a win today. All right, you've got the Giants can clinch a wild card spot, but Washington is a good football team, so much so they're favored by 7.5.
Isn't that strange?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that one kind of plays out there. I do think that the Giants, with all of their problems, are still going to sneak into the playoffs, and then look out. You never know.
All right, again, we're just kind of going through the whole playoff scenario, so the point spread may seem like it's switching back and forth because we're repeating the same game to kind of give you an idea of what that team's possibilities could be in the postseason. Now, Washington can clinch a playoff spot with a win in Detroit and a Detroit or Green Bay loss. And, of course, they're in action against the Giants. What do you think about Washington's chances?
They've been so up and down this year. The Steelers really went in there and pounded them. and we thought they had very little, and then they had a nice middle part of the season. Now they've kind of backed off a little bit. They've got that tie game in there that's kind of messing with them. So as we said, I like the Giants in that game better, but it's been a nice little run for the Skins that people really didn't expect them to be a playoff contender.
Yeah, we're talking a lot today about a number of things, including Rex Ryan. Does he get another coaching job? Could Tom Coughlin be going back to Jacksonville? So before we take a look at our next playoff scenario involving Tampa Bay, what are your thoughts on those two scenarios? Rex Ryan maybe to L.A. or anywhere, and Coughlin going back to Jacksonville. And folks, let's just put it this way. What he said on the radio, Mr. Coughlin will not be sending him a Christmas card next year. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, with Coughlin, he's had his time in the NFL. I don't like recycling a guy back to a program where he was once and had some success, but left there on some what seemed to be hard terms. I believe that was before this current owner was in Jacksonville, though. So that could be a difference maker as far as whether you bring a guy back to without any hard feelings. So there is a viable opportunity there. I don't like bringing back a guy into a scenario where he already has been. With regard to Rex Ryan, I think Rex is going to go do some TV work for a while.
And I think he'll be very good at that, too. Okay, Tampa Bay can clinch a win, and Washington tie, and Green Bay lost. So what they need, they're taking on Carolina, and Carolina is getting 4 points in this game. Big disappointment, and I feel bad for Coach Ron Rivera. And, yes, Cam Newton, I still think, is the prototype, the future, one of the greats of the game. But if you're a Carolina fan, I'm feeling for you.
Feeling for them only because it's the end of this year, but they're going to be fine next season. I mean, they're going to be a contender again next year. It's not like that program is just devoid of talent. They had some rough things go on with their offensive line this year. They had some injuries. They were down to their third-string center. Those types of things that really make it difficult to win. But Cam Newton's going to be your driving force, and he's a strong proponent or a strong player for the future. They're going to be fine. They'll be back next year, but Tampa Bay will win that game.
All right, here we go. Now we go to the division that we in Pittsburgh know and love, the AFC. New England Patriots, AFC champions, need to win to clinch home field advantage in the AFC, taking on Miami, giving them 9. I am going with Tom Brady and giving 9. As I said on the program, though, I have never seen so many people, no matter where I'm at, what I'm doing. Folks, when you say Tom Brady's name, someone always says, I can't, Tom Brady this, Tom Brady that. Tom Brady's a future Hall of Famer, and he's a winner. Even if he doesn't wear the black and gold, you can't argue with the fact. And one thing that you have to understand, you can't be a fair weather fan. If you love the NFL, even if your team isn't having the year that you'd hope, you got to stand back and go, Tom Brady, that guy can play football.
Come on, Pratt. He's a Hall of Famer with an asterisk, for goodness sake. The guy was playing with different footballs than everybody else for about 8 years.
Didn't the Steelers just get accused of that same thing?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
And I tease you. I think Tom Brady's one of the greatest quarterbacks who ever played the game.
Yeah.
The way that he plays on the football field. He's not the greatest talented quarterback to ever play the game, but the way that he gets the ball to the right places all the time, he's a tremendous player. And it is jealousy that beyond anything else is why people don't like him.
All right, by the way, Lauren Michaels, Saturday Night Live. I love the brand. I love the show. Have been a fan since day one. Back in the 70s with the not original, ready for primetime players, Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi, all of them, Gilda Radner. Here would be a great skit. 1950s, like a Happy Day scene. Guy pulls in to get air in his tires in a service station. You know, you hear the pipping, and the guy comes out with the dirty rag, wiping his hands off, and you see his face as Tom Brady, and he says, so how much air did you say you need in these tires? That would be a classic, I'm telling you.